my world.
This is my fourth Theros draft. Likely the last I will record for quite some time. But I thought it was better to do a few more videos when the format isn't that old yet. I think the more it matures, the less interesting it will be to see draft videos. Tell me if I'm mistaken here. The rare is nice in here, but it's not a first pick, even though good one-drops are very valuable. The Harpy is a better pick, but the best pick by far, maybe not by far, but clearly is Lightning Strike. There's no choice between Lightning Strike and Magma Jet. As good as Scry is, you need to kill things with your removal. Lightning Strike kills things which Magma Jet does not kill, and that makes all the difference in the world. So after Lightning Strike, I'm quite happy that the best card in this pack is an Ordeal. The white Ordeal is not my favorite, but still Ordeals are very, very strong. Next best card is probably the Voyaging Satyr. There's some other stuff in there which I highlighted, but the choice was between Ordeal and Voyaging Satyr, and I prefer the Ordeal. And there's another Ordeal in another color though. I'm not going to play both Ordeals unless I'm not playing the Strike. So I'm looking for alternatives. Wedge of Perfus is not that high a pick. Archon Crusader is strong, but you don't really want to pick it third. Stone Truck Giant isn't bad. Feral Invocation isn't bad, but it's worse than the Ordeal. And there's a Nimbus Naiad. It's a third color as well, but it goes very well with white, it goes well with red. And I think it's better to pick up the Naiad instead of another Ordeal. The green, by the way, is the weakest Ordeal. It's still good, but I think taking the Naiad here is correct. You need to stay open-minded at this point. Now, there's a lot of red in here. The Adept, the Warcaller, the Death Raider, Titan Strength, Twitted Cerberus. There's also a good white card in battle, Wise Veiler. Those red cards are all very strong, but I think the Naiad is actually the best card in here. I'm thinking about red for quite a while because there's so much red in there, but then again it's too early that this could be a signal. Whoever is drafting before me did not put this booster together. He just took two, in that case 3 cards out of it. Well, 3 drafters took 3 cards out of it. So I think that's not a clear signal. I go for the Naiad. Now let's see at this. There's a good red card. Well, there are several good red cards. The green card might be better, but I don't think I need to pick up a green card here. Black is not in contention. Blue has no good stuff. Neither has white. So essentially, I have to take a red card. And the question is, do I take the Aureate or the Crusader? At this point, it doesn't seem as if I were heading towards really fast heroics, so the Crusader is not the card I take. This pack, though, God's Willing, is the only one which is worth to be taken into consideration, and the next one, well, Snagcaster would go nicely with the white Ordeal and God's Willing, but Curse of the Swine is good in any deck which has enough blue to cast it. The tokens my opponent gets do not fly. I have 2 Nimbus Naiad. If I go blue-red, I have a 2 to first strike. Normally 2/2s are outclassed even if I play a first deck, so take that. Partner of Betrayal. It's a good card if you're aggressive, and you should be aggressive when you're on red. The alternative is Last Breath, which is playable sometimes a card saving your life, but mostly not something you want. Now a pack without red or blue. The Radiant Snarecaster keeps white open. And here Super Femlock is obviously out. So essentially there's only one card to take, that's a Sable. I'm still undecided. I'm playing 2 colors out of white, red and blue probably. But which one? Rage of Perforce, one will probably make the main deck, although not always. Cerberus and Titan Strength. Well, the Titan Strength is normally a bit better unless you already have enough synergies for the Cerberus, so that's what I take. And that's the first pack. There's a certain tendency towards red here. But at this time, I haven't decided. White was probably the least open. Oh, well, no, that's not true. Blue was the least open color. The Knights were both quite early. Curse of the Swine might have gone underrated. Fleeceman Line, strong card I cannot use, not worth many ticks. So there's another Naiad, there's an Emissary, but there also is a card which pushes red aggressive decks over the top. It's unbelievably cheap and efficient, so Coordinated Assault is the clear choice, which means I'm leaning heavily towards red now. It's very unlikely that in the end I won't be either red-white or red-blue. Mono red is an option, but with 2 Nimbus Naiad, I don't see why I would not play those at least. I like my blue so far a bit more than my white, so that's my tendency. He's a Steam Augury, which I would like to try out in Limited. Maybe it's too much dirtling around, but still card advantage is great. God's Willing, Vaporkin, those are the choices. Observant Elseed isn't quite as nice as God's Willing. But I also have very few creatures so far, especially if I have to cut one color. So maybe the pick is between the Elseed and the Vaporkin, and then the Vaporkin wins out because it's just much stronger. And then a pack without blue. Well, Radiant Snarecaster would be the white card to take, but Magma Jade is not really unplayable, as Christian Carcano said. It's still a good card. Fanatic of Mogus, that makes sense. The Hoplite, well, there's 2 Hoplites which might make the cut, but actually I don't think I'm going red-white here, and blue-white is out, so the Fanatic was the pick. Another Rage, I don't think I want the second one. Dragon Mantle is just better. And really cements red as my main color, which means that blue is now almost 100% my secondary color because it just goes better with a strong red main color. Another Rage of Perforce, well, I have one this time. I take the Cyclops instead. A second Cyclops, a second Portent, or maybe the Elseed. That's the question. At first I go for the Elseed here, since I still don't have that many creatures. I think I end up taking it. But that's kind of panicking, because at this point I really do not want to be red-white anymore. But if blue isn't coming, I have to do something. Now, in the meantime, I've taken a few cards which go well with the Orkan Crusader. So this is my pick. And then there's a red Emissary going around, and also Bedouise Veiler, but the Emissary is stronger. Once again, note that I still need creatures. If I hide the white creatures, I have 8 creatures so far, so Emissary it is. Well, take some clumsy 4 or 5 color cards, or take a 2-drop. Obviously take the 2-drop. Also take Priest of Iris, even though I won't run it if I'm red-blue. Maybe I'll separate in a plane sometimes with it. So, Fleet Feather Sandals are demolished. Demolish is a good sideboard card. Pico Option is a good sideboard card. Let's go into pack 3. I'm still not 100% decided on blue over white, but 99.9% I believe. And here we are. Best blue card is the Emissary. Best white card is God's Willing. But then again, I'm so short on creatures, I might have to take for a loss of all of that. That doesn't sound great, so I take the Emissary. Alternative would have been the Cerberus, but I believe everyone sees that the Emissary is the better pick here. So another Partner of Betrayal. I have one so far. Why not? But then again, Crackling Triton is really nice in red-blue. So I'll take that. This pack is kinda empty, but there's still a portent in there. And I'll take that. I don't think I'm going white anymore. White has been outclassed by blue. That's why I'm hiding it. Now, there's a choice between Death Battle Raider and Arena Athlete. The blue cards are too expensive to be in contention. And the Athlete it is, since I have enough stuff to target it. Hiding some stuff to see how my main deck shapes up. The deck is still a bit top heavy. And there's a Grip Tide and an Ordeal of Perforers. And the red Ordeal is of course one of the few cards you take of a Grip Tide here. Very happy to pick that up quite late. Another Emissary in there, but Vaporkin is better for my curve. I have enough creatures for 4 mana, but the second Vaporkin is just great. And at that point, because this one gets hit because it's too reactive, too expensive, and it's double blue. So thinking, do I need another 2-drop? Do I hate the Timurid, which I really don't want to see on the other side of the table? I misjudged a little here. I think I counted 1 2-drop more than I had. I should have taken the Satyr Rambler here. But then I decided for Timurid. It won't hurt me in the end, but it was a wrong pick, I believe. Well, another Dragon Mantle is better than a second Witch of Perforus. Another Cerberus. No, it's my first Cerberus. That's great. To go with 2 Dragon Mantles and a few pump spells. Now, a third Partner of Betrayal is probably too much. At this point I realize I can use another 2-drop. And thus, not taking the Rambler does not get punished. Okay, the Bone Sable doesn't trample, but it's still fine. So I'm hating what is most likely to stop me in the beginning, which is a 2-drop. Spark Jolt is nice for the sideboard. Battle Priest is a 2-drop. And that wraps up the draft. Looks really nice. That's 26 cards. I'll take out a few high-end cards. This is not a deck where I will main deck the Witch of Perforus. So this is my tentative build. Waiting for the deck building screen. Is it tentative or tentative? Tentative sounds nicer. I'll look that up later. Okay. 14 creatures. It's not much, but with 2 Dragon Mantle, I believe it's fine. So once again, lay my creatures out on a curve. Start with the cheap stuff, which is sure to make it. And well, the blue emissary will also make it, no doubt about that. And this is a deck which wants a lot of 2-drops. Red emissary also makes the cut. Now for the strong spells. I'll play at least one Portal of Betrayal, play both of my Dragon Mantles. There's the Crusader Witch, hid from my view. Coordinated Assault. Now where's the Titan Strength? There it is. And the Ordeal. So that's 22 cards. Since I have some bestow going on with the Naiads, the Spearpoint Aureate and the Emissaries, I want to play 17 lands, which means one more card is going to make it in. There's 4 candidates. Sparktroll is not going to make it in my deck. So what do I want? Now Fanatic of Mogis in this deck isn't as strong as the Cyclops would be. But do I want the Cyclops? It's still kind of clumsy, and I have a real fast deck. Not as fast as possible in Theros. You can actually build considerably faster decks, but it's still very much on the fast side. So I believe in the end the second portent is most likely to help me. I get in some early damage, then go to the air via Vaporkins and Nimbus Naiads, or maybe bestow some emissaries. Have a few tricks to punch through, a little burn, and then if my opponent has a big creature on his side, Portent of Betrayal seals the deal. So once again, how many mountains, how many islands? There's those Dragon Mantles and the Cerberus, which mean lots of mountains are nice, but there also are those Vaporkins, and it would be a pity if I could not play a second turn Vaporkin because I do not have an island. So in the end, with 17 lands, I decide to go 10-7, just to make sure that I can hit my early drops reliably. And once again, that's a deck I really like a lot, and I'm confident that I can win a few rounds with it. So let's see if that worked out, shall we?